You ran the built-in uninstaller. You deleted the app. You even deleted the folder. And OpenClaw is still running on your machine right now. Open your task manager or your activity monitor or run a quick process check. There's a good chance you'll see it sitting there, quietly active, like nothing happened. This isn't a bug. It's how OpenClaw was built. It doesn't install like a normal app. It installs like a service, a background agent that's designed to survive reboots, survive updates, and yes, survive most uninstall attempts. On Windows, it drops itself into Task Scheduler. On macOS, it lives inside a launch agent. On Linux, it runs as a systemd user unit. None of those three things get touched when you just delete the app icon or run a basic uninstall command. That's the part almost nobody tells you. And it's exactly why so many people end up reinstalling OpenClaw a few weeks later, only to find the old background service still fighting with the new one, throwing conflicts neither version can explain. We're going to avoid all of that today by removing this thing completely and properly on whichever system you're using. Before we start, do one thing for me. Tap like, drop a comment with your operating system, and subscribe. Not because I'm asking nicely, because the steps ahead depend on knowing exactly which platform you're on, and I read every comment to help people who get stuck on a specific step. All right, let's actually remove this thing completely. First, before you delete anything, back up your configuration. If there's any chance you'll reinstall later, or you just want your API keys and agent settings saved somewhere safe, copy this folder now. On macOS and Linux, that folder lives at a hidden path under your home directory called .openclaw.
On Windows, it's under your user profile folder, same hidden name. Inside that folder, you'll usually find your connector credentials, your agent configurations, and your conversation history. So treat it like something worth keeping, not just clutter to delete. Copy it to an external drive or a cloud folder, anywhere outside your system drive. If you set up more than one profile, some people run a work profile and a personal profile side by side, each one lives in its own separate folder, following the same hidden naming pattern with the profile name attached at the end. Note down every one of those folder names now, because you'll need to handle each profile individually later, not just the default one. Once that's done, we stop the running processes before we remove anything else. Skipping this step is the single biggest reason people end up with OpenClaw half installed, half broken, and stuck in a weird state that's harder to fix than starting fresh. Here's what that half-broken state actually looks like. The command line tool is gone, but the background service is still alive, still trying to reach a gateway that no longer exists, throwing errors every time your computer boots. Some people describe it as their machine randomly slowing down for a few seconds right after login. That's usually this exact problem, a zombie service quietly retrying a connection that will never succeed. If you deleted the package before stopping the service, this is probably already happening to you right now, even if you haven't noticed it yet. So don't skip ahead. Stop the service first, every single time, no matter how confident you feel about skipping a step. For Windows users, open PowerShell and stop the gateway and daemon processes directly. Then run the official removal command, which handles most of the cleanup on its own. After that finishes, don't assume you're done. Open Task Scheduler manually. Look inside the Task Scheduler library and search for anything related to the OpenClaw gateway. In a lot of cases, the uninstaller stops the task but leaves the registration behind. You'll actually see this confirmed in the command output itself, with a message telling you the gateway service is still loaded, even after the uninstall finished. If you see it still listed, open PowerShell as administrator and unregister it directly by name. That one extra click is the difference between a clean system and a scheduled task quietly failing on every startup, generating error log entries you'll eventually stumble across and have no idea what they mean. While you're in there, check for a leftover helper script sitting inside the configuration folder, a small file responsible for launching the background process. If it's still there, delete it directly and repeat the same check for every additional profile folder you noted down earlier. For macOS users, the process is a little different. Start by stopping the launch agent using the boot out command, which fully removes it from the system's process list rather than just pausing it. This matters because a simple unload command can leave the agent registered, even though it looks stopped. Then run the built-in uninstall command from the terminal. If the command hangs instead of finishing, that almost always means it's waiting on a gateway process it can't reach anymore. In that case, kill any leftover process by name directly from the terminal. Then run the uninstall command again. Afterward, check inside your library folder for any leftover plist files carrying the project's name, since these are what tell macOS to relaunch the agent automatically. Leave even one behind, and the service can come back after your next restart. For Linux users, the logic is the same, just a different service manager. Stop and disable the systemd user unit first. Then run the uninstall command. If anything is still hanging around afterward, search running processes by name and force stop them manually. Also check your systemd user directory for the unit file itself. Stopping and disabling a service doesn't always delete the file, and a leftover unit file can get re-enabled accidentally the next time you run a system update or reload the daemon list. Now, across all three systems, there's a step almost every guide leaves out completely, and it's the one most people never think to check. OpenClaw doesn't just talk to your computer. It often connects to outside services too, things like Slack, Google, GitHub, or Notion, depending on how you set it up. Deleting the app does nothing to those connections.
The access tokens stay active on the other end, even after OpenClaw itself is completely gone from your machine, which means something you deleted weeks ago could technically still read your files or post in your workspace. So go into your Google security settings, your Slack app permissions, your GitHub authorized apps, wherever you connected it, and manually revoke access for each one individually. This is the step that actually closes the loop, and it's the one that separates a surface level removal from a genuinely complete one. If you used Docker at any point to run OpenClaw, there's one more layer to clear. Bring everything down with the compose command, including volumes and orphaned containers. Then remove the image itself. Check your container list and your volume list afterward, filtering for anything related to the project name, just to confirm nothing got left behind. Docker is notorious for keeping orphaned volumes around long after the containers using them are gone, quietly taking up disk space you'll never notice until your drive fills up. Now for the part that matters most, verifying that all of this actually worked, instead of just hoping it did. Check for the scheduled task or service by name on whichever platform you're using. Check whether the hidden configuration folder still exists on your drive. Check for any older folders too. Some earlier versions of this tool went by different names before landing on the current one, so there can be leftover directories using those older names sitting untouched on your system, holding on to old cached data nobody remembers installing. If every one of those checks comes back empty, you're actually done. Not probably done. Done. Here's the one tip that saves people the most frustration, and it's simple. Always stop the service before you touch the package or the files. Every messy, half-finished uninstall I've seen traces back to that order being reversed. Stop first, remove second, verify last. Do it in that order, and this becomes a 5-minute job instead of an afternoon spent chasing down a process that keeps restarting itself no matter how many times you delete it. I test new AI deals every week. If a new free method comes out, you'll see it here first. Drop your operating system in the comments, and if you hit a step that didn't behave the way it should on your machine, tell me exactly where it stopped. That's usually enough for me to figure out what went wrong and help you fix it.